hope you enjoyed my little video there, and I guess you want to know where this is, how you can do it yourself, and this is exactly what I'm going to tell you. If this is your first time here, my name is Dieter, I'm an international mountain leader, and if you want to go there, you will need this thing. This is the IGN French map of the Lézard area. It's the 3532 ET version of this map. You can get them in just paper ones, you can get them in the waterproof-ish ones, and you can get them on your smartphone. So we are in France, obviously, and we are in the Tarentaise, and we are going to go to the border area with Italy. Now, this is a very famous ski area for winter sports, and we're going to stay far away from this. So if you came here because you saw Mont Blanc, and if you think that the French Alps are busy in summer, you might be mistaken, because there are lots and lots of really empty places, very spectacular. Only nobody goes there because it's a little bit more inconvenient and you need to be a little bit more creative. Now, these border areas, France and Italy, this whole border is just magnificent. It's full of hidden places, and this is one of them. So this is perfect for an overnight mission, sunset, sunrise. Now, let's get back to where this is. You're gonna start out from Bourg-Saint-Maurice, or somewhere around there, and then you follow the big road down the valley, down to this place called Sainte-Foy-en-Tarentaise. Now, Sainte-Foy-en-Tarentaise is like one of these many valley towns, and from there on, you're gonna head up with your car for quite a ride. It's gonna take you a bit, and you want to aim for the place called La Savonne. And La Savonne is a typical end of the road, end of the valley kind of place. And it's kind of windy, it's kind of narrow, so you don't really want to do this with like a big motorhome or like a massive van. It's okay in a car, but don't try to do it if you're not a very brave driver. It's not dangerous, it's just narrow and windy, and it takes you a long time. Now, once you get there, you might, start to get confused, like where do I park? It's quite simple. There's a big parking space at the end of the road. And when we were there, it was clearly marked on the tarmac itself, dernier parking or last parking. And it should be quite easy for you to find it. Now, from there on out, you can do a loop or you can do a out and back. And I would recommend you do the out and back because the loop crosses into Italy, where the mapping becomes dodgier, or like not as clear. Maybe you need an Italian map. I don't really have that one. And also the terrain, if you're going to do this loop, is quite, it's risky. It's not easy terrain, very difficult route finding, and some very exposed bits, boulder fields, all that kind of thing. So you might want to avoid that. The easiest thing for you is to just do an out and back, which is really safe, straightforward, safe and easy. So let me just start by describing the out and back for you first. So once you are in La Savonne, you're just gonna start heading up towards this Refuge de Ruitor. This is not far. This is maybe gonna take you, half an hour, 45 minutes, not long, until you come to this really wide open grassy valley with this mountain stream in there. It's just really idyllic. And this would be a very good time for you to grab some, last coffee or last snack before you head up. The way we did it is we set it up as like overnight mission, sunset, sunrise. So yeah, we left around noon. We had a lunch and a coffee in the refuge, and then we headed on up, spent the night, and did the loop. Anyway, from the refuge, it is very straightforward. You just keep following the marked trails up towards the north. I'm just going to be showing you on the map right here, until you reach a couple of lakes, Lac du Petit. And from Lac du Petit, you just keep following on the slightly not very clearly marked trails up there. So I do recommend that you bring like a mapping software on your phone, or maybe GPS device, because if you're just purely going to navigate on your map, you need to be quite competent. But anyway, you just keep heading up until you come to Les Dents Rouges, and there's a quite easy col. It's very broad, it's not exposed at all. And then you look down into Italy, and from that point onwards, you will be seeing the Mont Blanc. And just behind this col, just behind the saddle, if you just descend a little bit, there's this bunch of lakes. There's a couple of lakes, and this is exactly where I bivvied with Annick. And in between there, just fresh water, multiple small lakes, you have a little bluff. We camped on the bluff, bivvied on the bluff, and then you would have this magnificent view from the south side of Mont Blanc and just loads and loads of potential for really cool sunrise and really cool sunsets. Now, that is fine. That's just almost anybody can do this. It's a little bit of challenging hiking, but it's not dangerous hiking. It's not exposed, and navigation should be quite straightforward. Now, once you've enjoyed this, for the majority of people, and if I were to do it again, I would just recommend just going back the same way you came, because the alternative is just continuing down into Italy and then starting to head west, where you're going to try to cross near the Col de la Louis Blanche. Col de la Louis Blanche, and there's like some ruins there, probably from old military camps or gendarme camps from the Italians. This area was quite contested for quite a long time. And then you will see on the French map, on the paper map, at least the version that I have, there are no trail markings. Some hiking apps will have trail markings, and those trail markings are going to try to, the lines on the maps, are going to try to send you down this little watery gorge. It's called the Torrent de la Louis Blanche. Well, it's the same thing, Torrent de la Louis Blanche, and it basically follows the water. This is what we did. We followed this down, and it is difficult. It is really difficult. There's no trail markings. It is completely cross-country or almost completely cross-country. And if you're not confident navigating, if you're not confident on difficult terrain, especially if you're wearing a big backpack, like you just spent an overnight, it's hard work. It's hard work, it's ankle breaking, and it's not pleasant. Unless, of course, this is your jam. An easier way to do it, supposedly, and this is what I've heard, is that you follow the blue dotted line, which is the ski touring line, because this follows more gradual terrain, and that is going to land you in this north-south valley in a more pleasant way, without needing to crawl or less crawling through these boulder fields in this Torrent. Now, again, I have not seen this ski touring route. It is possible. It looks possible on the map. I'm certain it is possible. So I did the Torrent, and this was not recommended. It was hard. And at the very, very end, you need to go across this really steep, really exposed section, which is not pleasant. So once again, if your aim is to have just a really enjoyable out and back, just do out and back. If your aim is to go on like some adventure hiking, and maybe you just want to do it in one day, then this is a possibility. But beware, you need to be confident, fit hiker, and a good navigator, a good cross-country terrain navigator. Anyway, that is it. That is basically it. You start in La Savonne, you go to Refuge, the Ruitor, and then you can go out and back, or you can make a nice little loop. This is pristine hiking. This is really great, and I totally recommend you check out this entire border area with Italy. It holds a lot of gems, and you can do this in the middle of summer and be alone or nearly alone while crowds are crawling their way around the Tour du Mont Blanc and the other famous circuits. I hope this helped you. If it did, remember to give me a like. This is going to help other people find this video, and maybe I'll see you on the next one.